Good morning on this fine day. My outdoor adventure for the morning, it will be to walk around segment A of Sweet Marsh outside of Tripoli. I won't be able to completely walk around segment A because the refuge is now closed due to duck season being open, but I'll get a good share of the way and you'll get an idea. I'm going to shoot video with the GoPro. I'm going to shoot some still photos. I'll put the drone in the air if I can. It is a bit windy, so I'll have to check that. But I'll do what I can, just so viewers can get an idea what segment A is all about out here at Sweet Marsh. So let's go for a walk. This is the parking area of segment A. Actually, it's plenty of capacity. When you first enter Sweet Marsh east of Tripoli, this would be the first road coming into the wildlife area. So here we go. We've got the dike system, which I'll be walking on, and then there is the one boat ramp here with a dock. And let's go out, take a look at, get an overview of what Sweet Marsh is all about, what segment A is all about. This is man-made. It's all controlled. The water levels are controlled. And since duck season is open, they now have quite a bit of water in it. Fighting some winds, so I don't know how high I'll put the drone. That's looking east. There you go. You can see there's quite a bit of habitat. If you look towards the top of the screen, you can see the distinct horizontal line. That's the dike separating segment A from segment B, also known as Martin's Lake. And then there will be the short dike to walk back. I will not be able to walk on the short dike due to the hunting seasons being open. All right, let's go take a walk. For my walk today, I'm going light. I've got the drone, which means I'm carrying both the controller and the drone. And then I've got my camera with a long lens, and otherwise I don't have anything. No backpack, no shorter lens, no extra equipment. Just gonna go out, we're gonna walk this dike, see what's out here today, and call it good. In the old days, Sweet Marsh used to be known as a hot spot for Massasauga rattlesnakes. That's not the case anymore. It's been decades since a rattlesnake has been observed out here, at least that I'm aware of, and I keep pretty good tabs on it. We do have Massasauga rattlesnakes in Bremer County, but they have not been out here at Sweet Marsh. The habitat, as you can see, is here. It's just that, I don't know. In the old days, they were hunted, they were killed on sight, and now we don't have any. And I know people think, well, that's a good thing. Well, not really, because you hate to have a population, a species, the entire population of a species wiped out in an area. That's not necessarily a good thing. So let's turn a negative into a positive. In the old days, there didn't used to be sandhill cranes, and now there's sandhill cranes all over Sweet Marsh. And if I get any pictures of them today, I'll include them. But we do have sandhill cranes, we have trumpeter swans. In fact, this is one of the top birding areas in the state. A lot of species here. So maybe we'll see something today. As I mentioned earlier, Sweet Marsh is man-made and can be completely manipulated as far as water levels are concerned. There are 2 points where water can come in, either at the far end to the left from here or the far end to the right. There are 2 inlets. Water going out can go out the very south end towards Tots Lake. So they keep the water high during migration time and then lower during non-migration time. The purpose being so that various food sources can grow up. The different plants, they grow up during the growing season, and then they flood it. There's plenty of places, plenty of food for the migrating waterfowl to feed on. And when the waterfowl have food to eat, so do the other birds. The dike I'm walking on now will take me all the way, if I were to continue straight, would take me all the way to the entrance at Martin's Lake, or segment B. Part way up, there's a T intersection, and I'll follow that to the left. That's the boundary between Martin's Lake, segment B, and this part, segment A. On the right side here, looking east, you can see that the boundary of Sweet Marsh isn't all that far away. Sweet Marsh proper is to the left, going north, and then this direction. There's a lot of habitat out here. It's hard for me to imagine that either the lawmakers, the DNR, even the citizens would even support creating something like this now to this extent as they did back when Sweet Marsh was built. And I am so thankful that they did. I've spent hours out here. I found something interesting up here. What we're looking at is a turtle nest. That's where the eggs were laid for what the turtle was hoping would be successful hatching. What really happened is something dug those eggs up and ate them. This happens with many turtle eggs every year, yet the populations generally continue. So those are the shells of the turtle eggs. So what dug it up, who knows? Could be coons, fox, coyotes, possums, anything that smelled them, dug them up. Here we have the first real landmark on the dike going around segment A. That water control structure, that's actually to control the water on the outside of segment A. But more importantly here, we're looking at the dike that heads to the gravel road on the east side of Sweet Marsh. That's a dead-end dike, or a dead-end gravel road. On the other side of that timber, there is one private residence, so we show respect there. But this is a short walk in if you want to do your activities out here in this part of Sweet Marsh on segment A. This dike is not too far from the connecting dike that separates segment A and segment B, or Martin's Lake. Our next landmark is coming up here on the left, and this is that dike that I've mentioned several times, separating Martin's Lake, or segment B, from segment A, the part of the marsh that we're featuring today. When you look at Martin's Lake right now, you'll see that there's not a whole lot of water in it. That's because this is in the renovation process. They're in the midst of refilling it now. They've dug deep channels around the sides of it, and then several channels into different parts of Martin's Lake. But this is what you're looking at here is Martin's Lake, also known as segment B, and then this is segment A, what we're walking around. And the Jeep would be in that direction, about a mile away, I would guess. Not too far, very manageable. This is the water control structure for Martin's Lake and segment A. The water can be drained out or held back from Martin's Lake through this water control structure that then dumps out into segment A, where you can see the path, the water path there. And that's how they can fill segment A, drain Martin's Lake with this water control structure right here. The other input for segment A is fed off the refuge. I'm now walking the dike between Martin's Lake, or segment B, on the right, and segment A on my left. I am pleased with the water that's coming up here in Martin's Lake. I certainly wish it was completely full, but considering how little rain we've received lately, it's better than I expected. Maybe by next spring it'll be completely full. If you look ahead, I don't know if the video will show it, but if you look ahead, you'll see these signs that indicate the refuge boundary. I think it was last week I posted a video where I walked around the refuge before it was closed. It is now closed. We're after September 1. So I'll have to stop at those signs. That is the wildlife refuge. All the rest of Sweet Marsh can be explored. The refuge is off limits until the end of duck season. So there's plenty of area that you can still paddle, you can hike, you can explore. You just cannot go in the refuge. Off to the right in the water. Oh, there a pheasant just flew up. That's the second one. And coots took off on the water. You never know what you're gonna find out here. The coots, I would expect. I'm surprised by two roosters right next to the dike. But with this area to the right drawn down, that was good habitat for birds this last couple of years. So they've been pushed somewhere as the water's been filling it up. This low water is going to make it easy, and let me pause this, what I'm doing, is going to make it easy to show where the channels are, or at least one of the channels is. That's one of the channels created here at Martin's. So we've got water, but we don't have all that much. The channels are still visible. Hopefully the wind isn't drowning out my audio and completely ruining this video. This strong breeze today is making flying the drone a bit of a challenge. I guess I didn't realize when I had it out here it was supposed to be windy. I don't mind, it's keeping the bugs at bay, but it does make flying the drone hard. These lightweight drones are susceptible to the higher winds. I don't like to fly above 15 miles an hour or more. Maybe a little more I'll go, but I don't like to do that. And I'm guessing the gust today might be a little bit higher than that. I know when I put the drone in the position to just stop in one spot, it was getting blown by the wind. That means I have to be extra careful with the hazards. These white signs tell the story. We are at the boundary to the refuge. So you probably can't see them, even I can't see them right now, but there are signs out there in the cattails that go this way, and then along this edge. And then everything beyond the signs is the refuge from September 1st through the end of the duck season. So if there's any doubt, there's your sign. No trespass from September 1 through the final day of the duck season. Waterfowl refuge. Closed to duck and goose hunting at all times. Iowa Department of Natural Resources. This closure, yeah, it affects us from being out here in this part of it. We can't walk it or ride our bikes on the dikes or explore, but it does provide a resting area, a safe resting area for the waterfowl that's coming through. So I can understand. It's necessary. I'm fine with it. But that's the limit for today. And then this is the view of segment A, which I've been walking around, the view from this point. Now that I've reached the sign, my hike here is done. I can just hike back. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Can't go any farther anyway. From the boundary with the refuge back to the Jeep, I probably have a, I don't know, 1.5 mile and 3/4 walk. No big deal. So instead of boring you with just a backtracking video, I'm going to wrap this up. I do hope that through this video I've given you a glimpse of what segment A looks like, at least this time of year. I hope that I've explained the relationship between segment A, to my direct right here, what you're looking at in the background, to segment B, or Martin's Lake, which is behind me, or the refuge, which is far to the right. Know that all of Sweet Marsh is open all year, other than during the waterfowl season, from September 1 through the end of the waterfowl season. At that point, the refuge is closed. So if you wanted to hike or bike these trails, you won't be able to make a complete loop due to the boundaries of the refuge. Otherwise, the marsh is open. If you have any questions on that, feel free to reach out, shoot me a message, and I'll try to explain it. If you know people who would benefit from understanding Sweet Marsh, please feel free to share this video. Click the like button and subscribe if you wish. I do put out videos on a fairly regular basis. For those still watching, I do thank you for watching.